Hello, and welcome to Roasting the World, where we offer an adversarial perspective on today's cultural issues. We do it for the intelligent culture. I'm your host, Mr. Robinson, and I have a very, very special guest today,
Domi.
Domi. So, Domi, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Dominique, and I am from Decatur, Illinois, but I am a movement artist here in Nashville.
So, I think the first time I saw Miss Domi was at the local bistro where Frederick and shout out Frederick Weathersby and Stefan Forbes. But I saw you in a big circle thing. I think it's called a lollipop, right?
Yes, it is.
So tell us about the lollipop and how you kind of got into doing those type of things.
Okay, so the lollipop is a mobile aerial hoop. So if you don't know what an aerial hoop is, it is a circle that hangs in the air. It's like a Cirque du Soleil type of thing. If you ever heard of like silks, which are the sheets, I do the hoop. And lollipop is just a shorter form of it. So you can perform in more spaces. And I originally got into it because I've always been a dancer. And during the pandemic, I started pole dancing. And I just picked up other styles as I went along.
So, I can understand a lot of people probably, want to pole dance and things like that. But you said you do like the silks. Are those, if I'm wrong, correct me. But like they're hanging from the ceiling and you're way up there doing stuff on there?
Yes. So basically.
It's not scary?
Yes, it is. But I call it basically gymnastics in the air. So You go up typically over 10 feet. Like lower than 10 is very short. But like you want to be higher than 10. And you do flips, splits, just different acrobatic moves in the air.
Do you have to be like professionally trained, go to school for that? Or because I have some friends that are like that do fire breathing and stuff like that, and there's a lot of training involved, and you have to get so how were you able to get the certification to be able to do that? Because that's a long drop if you fall, right? So
you should be well trained. I actually started in my house with just a pole, which 8 feet on an 8 foot ceiling. 8 foot ceiling. It's not too high, so yes, you can definitely injure yourself, but you're a little bit safer the lower you go. But I originally started with pole, and then I did started getting trained at different studios, and I would say definitely learning from people who have been doing it for 10 years plus. That's at least 5. I mean, you can go down, but I'm just very serious about who I learned from. And you do have to train yourself for whatever style that you do.
And so I think we had mentioned in the previous conversation about gigs and where you go and volunteer your time so people can see that, because as a woman of color, right, I don't see you guys out there like when I go to Cirque du Soleil and people are swinging in circles by the hair and doing the stuff. I don't see us out there. So I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, right? But I'm just saying, how do you feel about that part of it?
It is a very, I don't want to say niche field. There aren't a lot of black people doing it. There's not a lot, but we are out here.
Right. So you're so you say you went through a lot of training and different things like that to get that, and you said you were a dancer before. You think that prepared you for being able to do those type of things?
Yes. I mean, it better prepare me. Starting from ground zero is going to be very challenging, but it can be done. I've known women that went from not being trained in any style of dance to being very elite skilled. But it took a lot of years. I would say on men 7, at least 7 to get to, I would say, pro level, which I don't even consider myself at yet. But I've only been doing this for 2 years, so I'm still working and I'm still growing. I'm still learning, and yes, it's just a lot of training. So what a day typically might look like is I wake up, have a smoothie. I will go to training, like a contortion class. Then I will go to do like aerial, so aerial silks or aerial hoop. And then I might take a rest and then maybe go perform.
Okay.
And then like a stretch after, and then probably like pole or fire props. Because those are things I can do in my house. So yes, a very busy schedule, but training.
And you teach other people because I feel like anything that you really get paid for, you're a pro at. If I can make money from it, then you're a pro. You know what I mean? So like you train other people. I understand that you say that you teach like pole classes and different things of that nature. So like there is good income coming from this, and it's an elite skill. Because what I want her to kind of do is get into some of our films and use some of those moves to put on camera, because I think it'll look really good in like a fight scene or something like that. And so I do have her in one of my films in her lollipop, right? And I think that's going to be really cool for you guys to see. But so tell us, how you think that what you do can kind of cross over into maybe film and different things like that. I know you mentioned that some of the people that you knew when they were doing like people walking on their hands and stuff, like those are really highly skilled people that get paid in the movies to do those type of things.
Yeah, so I will say that one thing I learned from learning these specialty dance skills is it has taught me that you really can do like whatever you want in this world. Like, and your body is capable of anyone, whether you're flexible or not. Like, I feel like we are capable of anything in this world. And there are contortionists. Those are hyper bendy people, right? Double jointed, or whatever you want to call it, that have built a career off of just utilizing their body to twist into shapes. And they have been on movies like, like movies like The Saw or The Ring. When you see these people like twisting around or their heads moving, sometimes that's actually real people and not special effects. Like, believe it or not, there are people that can really do these things and
that's scary.
Get paid to do it.
That's scary.
Yeah, like your body is just a lot of training.
Right, yeah. So, I personally, as a man, like I'm not super flexible. What can I do to kind of get my flexibility up if I want to do some stuff? I don't know if I want to do all of that stuff you do, but like, it's more of a female dominated, or do you see a lot of men doing these type of things too?
No, I think dancing on the ground in other forms, like when it comes to ballet and jazz and all those others, I do think it's woman dominated. But when it comes to these specialty arts, I don't feel like it's always woman dominated. It depends on where you're at. Because when you think about Cirque du Soleil, some of these athletes do, what is it called? Or even parkour. Is that where you jumping over the stuff and you doing calisthenics? Yep. A lot of those are men. So realistically, in the Cirque world, women are honestly at a disadvantage because most time we're naturally smaller. That means less strong, right? But we are not as big, so I think we can compensate, and we're most time more flexible than men because due to y'all body structure and body matter, like torso sizes, hips, everything really matters. But I don't think it's woman dominated. Maybe here in Nashville, absolutely, maybe here in Nashville.
But on a more macro global scale, it's more for everybody.
Yes, I think specialty arts are.
Okay, and so now when I look at you, I see that you're in good shape, you're fit. I mean, you said you drink smoothies in the morning and stuff like that. So, what if you're somebody that wants to use it for like I know of some people that's gone to pole dancing classes and different things of that nature, right? I understand that works your core and gets you in shape. So is this like an exercise also that keeps you in good shape? And because like honestly, looking at you, I can't tell how old you are. Plus you're a black woman, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So what is it? How does it benefit you physically to do this particular thing outside of what you already do with your own diet?
No, it's very it's definitely exercise. Okay. So I say I don't exercise because I really don't feel the need to go to the gym because
climbing up poles and swinging and doing stuff all day.
Yeah, so it's definitely exercise, and I haven't really seen too many people not lose weight or tone up.
Okay.
When they started dancing, like,
okay.
Even if you don't really try to, like, a lot of women don't want to get muscular, so we're like fighting against.
We don't want y'all to get muscular either. Like, we don't be muscular.
But it's like you kind of can't help it when you
pulling your whole body weight up sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's like an hour. I always say an hour session of pull-ups and sit-ups and push-ups. All the ups.
That's a lot. Y'all seem like, we talked about earlier, like the dudes be strong, but y'all seem like y'all stronger than us. Like, because I'm not an hour worth of push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups. Like, that's a lot.
It is, and then it start, your hands are very important too. So, having strong hands, actually strong, but the skin on your hands. You know what? I'm not going to ever have soft hands, probably. And I have become okay with that because this is a thing. Like, rough hands help with the process.
Okay. I got rough hands. I think I can get up there and swing or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna ask for the culture. I know we had spoken about how some people, ask you questions about what you do and maybe why you do those things, and maybe you have some answers for them, because I'm sure people's mind is going right now while they're watching the episode and like, this, and having questions. So any particular question that you get a lot, that you want to kind of address?
Okay, so the first question, it used to be, do I do silks? It always used to be the silks question. I'm like, yeah, but now I've done that a little bit more. Another question is, how do I get started? Like, how? Especially with fire.
Right. Ooh.
A lot of women or I would say black people, is like, how do you even get started?
Because you're going to get burned.
And I would say, one, there is a fire class that's offered here in Nashville. Plug that. It's at MC Flow Arts with Molly. Okay. And I teach. Okay. But more than anything, I just seen it and I was interested and I connected with a person who had been doing it a while. So whatever you want to do, if it's filmmaking, if it's dancing, if it's yoga or whatever, connect with somebody that's doing it. Like,
study your craft.
Yeah, right. And have somebody somebody you can reach.
Right.
Like, it's good to look out into YouTube and those type of things. And the crazy part is, a lot of people that I used to look up to on like YouTube and social media sites, I am now coming around to work with and or train with or train from. So it's good to, of course, look up to them. But all in all, somebody you can actually talk to who know what they're doing or who has some background in it to give you guidance.
So mentorship is really big in that. And being able to just watch somebody do, because I learn by doing. Yeah. So if I can see you do it and you can like show me hands-on to do it a couple times, then I got it. Yeah. So I think it's kind of like that, because I actually do want to do some of like the fire stuff, because I think that's like I think that would be really kind of cool to do, and then I could put it in some of the films, like special effect, and it would be like a real person doing it. So those are some of the things that I'm super interested in, and look for her in some of our upcoming films and upcoming things that we have going on, because I think she'd be a really good asset to just kind of train and have some creative ability and consultation from you to be able to say, hey, this will look good. This will be something that you should put in here. Do you have any shout outs, any people that you want to shout out, or any like plugs? You have a website or anything particular that you want to share with the people for your own personal gain or business, things like that?
Yes, I am Domi Pastrami on mostly everything, probably. DOMI PASTRAMI.
I can't tell you how to spell it.
Domi Pastrami. On Instagram, and I teach class. Just look me up on I teach privates. I teach at some studios around here, pop-up classes. And you can catch me performing at a lot of places. Just follow me on Instagram to like see what I am doing if you want to get interested. I am the one to start with because I mean, I'm black, but aside of that, I know the connections and how to do it. And I feel like it's a benefit that I am newer because sometimes you can get so far out, you forget what it meant to be in the beginning.
Right. Like, and you can pull people up and help.
Yeah.
All right. So on Roasting the World, we have what's called Roasted or Toasted. If you're roasted, it's something you want to throw in the fire. We don't want to talk about it anymore. It's terrible for the culture. If you're toasting something, that means you want to raise your glass to it and you want to say, this is something that we need to discuss more in our community and we need to broaden this for us as a people. So you get, take a minute or whatever or two and talk to the camera, talk to the people directly and tell them why what you do is important for the culture and why we need to keep pushing it.
Okay.
Why is your job important? You know what I mean?
Why is my job important?
Why is it cool? Yeah.
I think more than anything, I think my job is important to preserve our history and culture and to showcase that we can be and do what we want to do. Like we always say, a liberated grounds, it is within us. So we can do and be whatever we want to be. You just have to really work and grow. Like, I'm the first person in my family to do a lot of things. So not having guidance it can be a thing, but it shouldn't be the only thing. Like, people are out here who can help you and work with you. And we need to preserve our history and our culture. Like, we need to keep the arts within the community, showcasing where we're at, because a lot of things that I have learned what the importance of art, like, yes, it looks nice or whatever, but more than anything, it shows our history, like through times, what's happening in our spaces, how we're feeling. That's the purpose of art. And I feel like we can't all write it down, then art is a more creative way than a history textbook.
Right.
So yeah, tying that back to dance, maybe y'all like, what does this have to even do with dance?
But it's true because it's that expression.
Yeah.
It's that expression of us. And I remember us even with Sarah, who was one of the ladies that we were put in circuses and zoos and on display, and now we actually get to showcase what we want to showcase and be out there in that way also. And I really I can appreciate what you do. And I really am grateful that you came on the show, and I really appreciate you. And go ahead.
I'm glad you said that because you just reminded me. Also, taking back our art and our power. So, we were on display. We wasn't getting the money for it. Right. We were made a mockery of, and they had us out here dancing and doing whatever. Yeah. But I feel like this is my way. Like, we did enjoy it. Like, we have been doing it, but we didn't enjoy the place that we were in. Right. So just fully taking it back, our skill, and showcasing what it is.
Yep, absolutely. Taking your power back, and it's liberating. Like, because I do inspirational hip hop, I perform, I do shows, rap, spoken word, and when I'm out there doing that, it's totally different than in my real life. Like, I feel like I'm controlling the crowd. It's people watching me, and eyes are on you, and different things like that. And I used to be kind of nervous, but I think shout out to Uncle Rob, because he had us out. My uncle had us out there performing as young kids in convalescent homes and in churches and different places like that. And now it's just natural for me to be in front of people. So I'm glad that I got that early to now I'm not nervous, because some people's biggest thing is, I'm nervous to be in front of people doing this and that and the other. But get on out there, express yourself. It's liberating, and it's probably a de-stressor, and it'll help you. So, but yeah, again, I appreciate you coming on. Until next time, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and be ready for another exciting episode of Roasting the World.